How's everybody doing?
Hey, Coach, thanks for a couple of minutes this morning. Andrew Jones, lead us off. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach, what one or maybe two areas of defense do you think has made the most progress since the opener?
Well, so I think that the D-line has improved fundamentally since day one. And I feel like, and we felt strongly about Ray, but I think to see not just Miles Murphy, but I think Tamari Fox is playing really well. But then to see Kevin Hester and to see Javari Ritchie really improve. So I think as a whole, fundamentally, those guys have really improved. And then I think at inside linebacker, you have to look at what, how Cedric Gray has come along. And I think you feel really good about, the progress that position's made too.
And on the flip side of that, is there a part of the defense that has regressed to the point where you're very concerned? And if not, what part of the defense are you most concerned with right now?
I mean, Andrew, I'm concerned about everything, we haven't played as well as we're capable of. So, I mean, I think the number one thing is that I do think has improved the last couple of weeks is communication in the secondary. But I still think in the secondary, right, some of the coverage issues, some of the leverage issues that we've had, need to be better.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Luciano, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I hope you're doing well, and thanks for your time. You allowed the highest amount of rushing yards on the season Saturday. What would you say went wrong mainly with your run defense against Notre Dame?
Well, I think the first thing is we gave up a 93-yard run. And I think that we had tackled for -2. And it is what it is, right? We had a chance to tackle them, and we didn't. I thought our run efficiency up to that point was really high. And I think Notre Dame does a good job. I mean, that's kind of how they've been built all year, is they bang at you. I think the running back's a really good player, and then they pop a long one on us. I thought at that point we had really limited the long runs. We had a couple misfits that were 8 or 10-yard runs, but I think the long run really skewed the data. So I think when you look at the overall picture of the run fit and the run game, other than the 93-yard run, it's kind of like other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play, right? So like no one cares, right? But like I felt like the overall efficiency of the run defense was decent outside of that play.
Well said, Coach. Greg Barnes, go ahead.
Good morning, Jay. It seemed as though there were fewer substitutions and therefore a smaller number of players who played on Saturday. I assume Notre Dame's up-tempo offense played a role in that, but was there any other reason?
Greg, I think we went in thinking we were gonna get a little bit more of the 12 personnel. They had been a little bit more of a big personnel team, and certainly a year ago we got a bunch of that. And so I think we had a pretty we had a plan to play some guys in that defensive and the way we were going to play defense against them a little bit more than we did because we didn't get as many reps of it. And then I just think with the way the game played, we just kind of got into a role where I thought in the first half we were playing really well and we just kind of rolled with those guys. But our plan is still to play guys that have been playing. I think some guys didn't get as many reps as they're used to. But I think that'll change this week and they'll have a better week of practice and we'll be able to get some more guys. And, against Wake Forest, the personnel grouping's not very, they're in pretty much, they're like our offense, right? And they're really good at it, but they're in the same personnel group all the time. So you get a little bit better ability to kind of match personnel than maybe you did last week.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ross Martin, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Bateman. I mean, I want to kind of stay on that topic and look at the secondary. It seems like Don Chapman's become your starting cornerback and replaced with Kyler and Michael. If you could speak on that. And then what is Ja'Qurious Conley's role now? It seems like he's moving around still and he hasn't really found. I'm not sure if you can kind of tell me what his role is now as safety or nickel and what he's doing for y'all on defense.
Yeah. I think Don played the snaps against Notre Dame, but, Kyler McMichael's going to play a lot. So I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into that really. So I think the corner situation is going to continue to be, those three guys. Hopefully at some point Storm's back, and then I think Dante Balfour is a freshman who's really coming along. So, I mean, I still think that's going to be the majority of the corners. We're mostly playing JQ at nickel. That's where I think he's best right now. And I think, I think he's played better when he's been there. So I think that'll pretty much be going forward how we'll play.
Okay, well, I think that was our last question for you, Coach. Thanks for a couple of minutes.
No problem. Thanks a lot.